Hello and good evening. Welcome to the No Exit Podcast. This doesn't mean that I'm here with you. You are here with me. So I got to see who I have here this evening. I have Vanessa. I got Richard. Tom is engineering, and I don't know. And James is looking like he's made of wax. And and Paul is somewhere, but I like his shirt. Okay, and so now we have the mission statement. And if you don't speak French, I'll do it in French first, and then I'll do it in English, okay? If you have any questions, keep them to yourself. No, you could absolutely ask. Alors, ça l'enfer. Je n'aurais jamais cru. Tu te souviens de tout ce qu'on nous a raconté sur la chambre de torture, le feu et le soufre, la main brûlante, des histoires de bonnes femmes, pas besoin de tisonner chauffé en rouge. L'enfer, c'est les autres. So this is hell. I never believed it. You remember we were all told about the torture chambers, the fire and the brimstone, the burning marrow. Old wives' tales. There's no need for red-hot pokers. Hell is other people. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll.
You'll discover that soon enough.
Yeah. Well, this is... I sent Richard a text earlier this day, but I don't know if you... It was that image of the information overload.
Yeah. I saw it. I plan on responding.
Yeah, because I didn't send it to him in time.
Where's the scrolling text?
Yeah, could we have the scroll?
Yeah, because, see, the information overload, the problem is I get stressed by the stuff I miss. Mm. You know, if I got to hear it and look at it, I want it all. Mm-hmm. Can't get enough. That's a song.
Depeche Mode.
No, it's a current song. Just can't get enough. That's
current 93.
That was written by Vince Clarke.
Right.
It's about it's a great song. It's very poppy. I thought it was earlier than that.
Oh.
Earlier than 93 because he was already.
Is that the one? I just can't get enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one you're referring to.
Yes. No, I'm not. No, it's a song that.
That's the
I
one.
want it all. I can't get enough. It's playing on 102.1 right now.
Who's it by?
I don't know.
Vanessa's got the older version. You got the newer version.
I've not
They're
heard
different
this.
songs.
Ah.
Okay, so we're just gonna hit the ground running. So, Vanessa, Sabrina Carpenter VMA performance.
Oh, very nice. Before the news cycle turned into absolute shit at the end of the week, there was an uplifting story. Let's see. We're gonna show it. Sabrina Carpenter was at the VMAs, MTV, mainstream media. It takes a lot of guts for her to do this. She had various representation of gay, drag, and trans people. And one of her signs that I really liked... Oh, so damn it.
Operator error.
Yeah, operator error. Hey, Richard, you can't undo the operator error even with all these buttons here.
Don't repeat it.
I'm not repeating it.
You just did.
What did I repeat?
Operator error. Now you made me repeat it, but I'm not muting myself.
Oh. Well, anyway, that was a good thing.
Send it over
with all the trans hate going on right now, which is the hot, trendy topic.
And put on the big.
Yeah, the big. It was nice seeing this kind of representation. I really like the sign that's above her head that says, "In trans we trust." Now, let's get into this. We have, "In God we trust" was added to the U.S. currency in the 50s by Eisenhower.
54.
Yeah, as a result of the Red Scare. It wasn't always there. A lot of people think the "In God we trust" was always there because they're dumb.
Well, also the under God was added to the pledge after the pledge was written.
Right. That was added.
One nation, indivisible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was added around the same time, wasn't it?
I'm not sure of.
I believe it was.
Because what was that Thanksgiving story with Jason Robards was in the one that they'd show in elementary school, and about where she's collecting the ball of foil, and she's making he tricks her, says something about drink it full, the glass of water, and she doesn't. Said, no, you drank it empty. It didn't make sense, you know. But there was a Thanksgiving one, there was a Christmas one, but it was a couple, and Jason Robards was in it, so it's early 70s. Well, so the short story is, it's a pride parade, but on stage.
Yeah, but it's needed representation in this time frame.
And you see at the awards,
it's in the mainstream. It's very influential. That's great that she did that.
Yeah, they told the artist
mainstream
nothing political, and then she figured out a way around that.
I don't know how that's around it if there's a sign. that says in trans we trust. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe because she didn't actually speak
Maybe people's lives aren't political; they're just existence.
Yeah, you know, when you get older, you just get tired. Okay, so Richard,
What's the connection?
No idea.
that they're not political, they're just living. You know, when you get older, my interest ends at my white picket fence. I could give a shit what's happening elsewhere. Really, it doesn't have an effect on my life. It really doesn't.
Really?
It's tragic that people in China, Chinese Muslims, are being subjugated. It's tragic that Palestinians are still throwing rocks at Jews who are shooting back at them. But that doesn't affect me at my house.
Okay, so I'm going to go to your house and I'm going to post the Reinhold Niebuhr poem. You know, when they came for the transunionists, I didn't say anything. I'm not a transunionist.
Well, I still have a lot of a cushion. You know that.
It's nice to have privilege.
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not going to be shamed for being cis hetero white male. I'm not going to be shamed for that. I mean,
Oh, you're defensive.
no, I'm just telling you. Okay, so we've beaten that one up.
Him.
Yeah, right.
I'm animated, but I'm not really.
Never. He's calm.
No, I'm not calm, but it's. I'm trying to move on to
tranquil water.
I'm trying to move on to the next
Zen.
subject now.
You can try.
Okay, Richard. 2 experiments with children, dogs and monkeys.
Okay, so here's experiment number 1. A child is in front of the researcher, and the researcher holds up a box of Crayola crayons and says to the 4-year-old, "What's in this box?" And the child said, "Crayons." And then he flips open the box and shows it to him, and it's candles. And then the kid says, "Oh, there's candles in the box." All right. And then the researcher says, "Now I'm going to bring in the next person who is, your friend, Johnny. When I show Johnny..."
Put it up.
Sure, there's Johnny Rotten.
When I show Johnny the box, what's Johnny going to say what's inside?
And how old is Johnny?
4 years old.
Okay.
What do you think the kid number 1 says about what Johnny's going to say?
Crayons.
No. Yeah, that's right. Why? Why would he say crayons if the kid just looked and saw there were candles?
Because he's 4 and he doesn't have object permanence, and he's looking at the box.
Now, this is the interesting thing about this experiment.
Because he thought they were crayons. That's why, and he figured he will think it's crayons.
So
it was disguised. You couldn't see what was in the box, but you had the information on the box showing it's a box of crayons.
I agree, Paul. I agree. Now, if the kid is 5 years old or higher, when you ask the kid, what's person number 2 going to say? The kid says, if they're 4 years old or less, they'll say, well, he's going to say candles.
Candles or crayons?
Candles.
Okay.
Why? And then if they're 5 and above, they say, well, they're going to say crayons. And so here's what the researchers concluded, is that ages 0 through 4, you are always taking in information constantly, and you give 0 thought to what other people are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Once you hit 5, suddenly, there's other people in the world, and they think differently than I do.
Well, that might be because kindergarten.
Is that when you start kindergarten? 5?
Yeah. Because at 2, when I was in med school, when we did the behavioral section, 2-year-olds are like the drunken sailor. Once kids learn to walk, what do they do immediately? They run. And the 2-year-old doesn't have great balance. They're like the drunken sailor, but they're interested in everything, like the drunken sailor. Mm-hmm. And so they want to see everything, do everything, touch everything. I'm hungry. No, I'm not. I'm thirsty. No, I'm not. I'm so tired. I got to go to bed. I can't sleep, and that.
So they absorb everything super fast.
Well, a lot of it bounces off, but that they're trying to take it all in, even though they can't assimilate most of it.
Did anybody on the panel hear about this new series called Alien Earth?
Yeah, I've been watching it.
Okay, then this won't come as a surprise to you, but it's about children.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, they need somebody to guard Earth against the aliens. And this is in a futuristic society. So what they do is they find children who are about to die. and they save their life by doing some kind of, is it a brain transplant?
Yeah, they transfer their persona into the android body.
Okay, so yeah, like they take the mind out of the dying kid and they put it in an android body, which is super strong.
But they have to recharge, because they got like a lithium ion battery or something in them. But
Like a Tesla?
at the very beginning of the series, they said there's the synthetics, there are the hybrids, and there are the cyborgs, or the cyborgs and the hybrids. Because there was just a scene on the most recent one where the cyborg says to the synthetic, "What's it like being last year's model?"
Like Elvis Costello?
So you have these powerful cyborgs with the mind of a child.
Well,
Now, why did they do that? Because psychologists found out you can mold a child's mind a lot easier than you can an adult.
yeah, it's a much more tabula rasa. There's not a lot of the memory isn't being used to hold other crap.
But at the same time, if you got the mind of a child and you have this curiosity about the world, see how they could make this into a good series?
It's a good series because
People love it.
yeah, because of the corruption. That there's the guy who has to be a play on Elon Musk, but the guy is much more charismatic and he's younger and he's better looking. But that's the thing; he's an uber rich guy that treats everybody like shit and really whimsical about how things are. But
Do you recommend it?
oh, absolutely, because Timothy Oliphant by himself. I mean, the way he plays the synthetic. Because people remember Ash in 1980 or 1979's Alien. You find out at the end he's a synthetic, meaning a synthetic. In Aliens in '92, Lance Henriksen plays Bishop. A, B, C, D. That's how they're going on. That he prefers the term artificial person. But they have multiple redundancies because in Alien.
Yeah, I recall Sigourney Weaver doesn't like Bishop, but then she starts to like him.
Right, but because Ash went crazy in Alien.
Yeah.
And that's when his head gets cut off and they wire him up and he starts talking and it's very digital and modulated. And so it's a remarkable thing because they really developed the ethos because Michael Fassbender played David and Walter. Well, Walter was much more advanced than David. And when David thinks he's killed Walter by ripping out something in his spine, Walter gets up again. He thought because David is devious. He's too human. He's too human.
Well, anyway, the second experiment has to do with dogs and monkeys. So, if you get a dog and you hand it a treat, okay? Let's say you have the dog press a button. When the dog presses the button, you give the dog a treat. Okay. And then the dog figures, well, I'm going to press the button again. Give the dog another treat. So you do this a few times, and then the dog presses the button, and the researcher doesn't give the dog a treat, but he looks at the dog, he looks at the box on the table, he looks at the dog, looks at the box, and the dog figures, oh, I'm going to open that box. And he pushes the box over, and there's treats.
Yeah, that's typical dog training.
A monkey will not go for the box. A monkey has no clue why you're looking at the monkey and at the box. You know? Why? Why will it work for dogs and not for monkeys?
That I don't know because
Because, do you know, Paul?
do you know or do you not a guess?
Well, of course he's going to guess.
Well, I don't know, but I'm going to guess that it's afraid to open the box.
Wait, why is it afraid? It needs permission and the dog doesn't?
No, it's unaware. It can't see what's in it, so I would think it's afraid to try to investigate it.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I really don't.
How about you, James? You got a theory? Why won't the monkey go for the box?
I don't have a theory about that, but I do know that if you put treats in a jar, the monkey won't let go of the treat to get his hand out of the jar.
Well, or in a closed hole, not in the jar, but in a hole in the wall. They'll put it in the hole. They won't let go, so they're stuck. They get stuck by their fist.
Well, the hypothesis is that when dogs left wolves and started hanging around the campfire and then became domesticated, humans became their support group. So dogs have learned how to read your face. Monkeys They don't do that. They stay in their own little tribes.
So it's an inherited trait amongst dogs that's inherited from generation to generation of
Probably.
dogs?
Considering we have 12,000 generations of
Probably.
domesticated dogs.
Yeah, because they see some breeds are better around children, so that's got to be passed on genetically, right?
Oh, yeah, the problem is AKC people going for appearance instead of brains. You know that if you ever saw a working dog like an Australian Shepherd, if you ever saw them doing something, it's amazing how they can herd. There's a meme that shows the dog herded a sheep into this house. None of them were the people that owned the sheep. The dog just got all the sheep and got them together and brought them. I think it was in Wales, and so herding dogs or working dogs, they work really well. There was a guy on Slate that had a series about his dog was Rose. That was her name, and she was she a Shetland sheepdog? But she was a working dog, and that like the neighbor. He's in downstate New York, like Westchester County or north of it in Putnam. And he had a farmland. And a guy called at 4 a.m. The neighboring farmer says, "Heard you got a working dog." That's all he needed. And because the fence had broken, and Rose goes out and, herds the cows back in. Working dogs, they just have that job. And all they want is to satisfy you and to make you happy. That's like the joke. I told this joke yesterday, so I'm going to repeat myself because the people at home don't know this joke.
No.
So if you want to know who really loves you, put your wife and your dog in your trunk and see which one is happy for an hour and see which one is happy to see you when you open it up.
Ooh, that sounds
It's
sort
gonna
of
be the dog.
James-
always.
James-ish.
You, huh?
yeah. That's sort of like a joke for domestic abusers.
Yeah.
Yeah, our audience.
So, well, no.
It'll always be the dog.
So, Vanessa, is there a kink aspect to Christianity?
Yeah, let me start out by reading from our favorite book, Eric Fromm's Escape from Freedom. Here we go. I'm going to show this nice image while I read a little passage. There we go. You got it? I'm like the surrogate Paula today. Okay. Schleiermacher's definition of religious experience as experience of absolute dependence is the definition of the masochistic experience in general. A special role in this feeling of dependence is played by sin. The concept of original sin, which weighs upon all future generations, is characteristic of the authoritarian experience. Moral, like any other kind of human failure, becomes a fate which man can never escape. Whoever has once sinned is chained eternally to his sin with iron shackles. Okay, this also brings up the point. We got another nice Jesus picture here. Okay, the whole kink aspect between the relationship of Jehovah, Yahweh, God the Father, or the Sky Daddy, the Daddy, and his submissive subordinate, cub, son, twink, Jesus, who submits to his will in one of the heaviest sadomasochistic S&M scenes ever. Think about it. The whole tale of the crucifixion is the tale of a daddy and his subordinate. It's a whole S&M story. That's what it is.
There's one flaw.
What?
He's not enjoying it. And, that's the thing.
He submitted to it. He could have said no. He submits to it in the Olive Garden, the great restaurant. Shouts out to Mike St. Jackie. But anyway, he submits to it. So he's in on the scene.
But that doesn't mean he's enjoying it.
He has to be enjoying it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. He
That's
would have
not-
said no, because he could have. If he's equal to God, as God the Father, he would say, no, fuck that. I'm not doing this heavy S&M scene with you, Daddy. But he's submitting to Daddy in the sadomasochistic S&M relationship.
Okay, now that's interesting. You should bring that up. And Jason, you have a valid point. Is it possible Jesus submitted to it, and then on the cross he said, "I made a mistake. I shouldn't have."
Let me talk about the cross. That's
Remember
a great thing.
the last 6 words?
Into your hands I commend my spirit. That's his orgasm. That's when he blows his load, when he dies on the cross and he goes up to Sky Daddy. That's the orgasm. That's the final climax of the whole S&M scene that's going on here.
This is like slash fiction. This is completely...
No, it's interpretation.
Well,
That's a
Like,
very
no,
good
that-
interpretation.
What did Jesus mean when he said, my God, why have you abandoned me?
why have you forsaken me? Because he wasn't enjoying it.
Or was he saying, I was an idiot to believe you existed?
Well, but he already knew.
That's the atheist interpretation, that Jesus was the first atheist.
Well, the whole basis of this
Well, he was a
religion
Jew.
is a sadomasochistic scene. That's what the whole basis of it is.
With-
And to base the whole society on a heavy S&M scene between a daddy and his underling is a really strange thing, but people have come to think it's normal because it's been done for so long, for such a long period of time.
I like your interpretation.
Whereas I think it's far afield. I really, because there's no satisfaction.
Well, look at this. Jewish religion has a star. Buddhism has a person sitting in quiet contemplation. The Islamic tradition, they have a crescent, right? And Christianity has a symbol of torture.
And
So, I mean, he's, there's something to.
and that's why you can't call it the S&M, though, because I really don't think Jesus' resurrection blew a huge galactic nut when he died, which is what you're saying. Because there are many people that were prisoners in the gulags.
Well, if he was God, he could have saved himself and not done it. He submitted to
But
it. He wanted
that-
to do it. He was into the whole scene.
That's a third grade interpretation.
No,
it's very
that was his-
simplistic.
that
That's
was his
primary
kink.
colors. That's not kink.
Oh yeah, it's
Well,
so
let's
that's-
ask Paul
I got
and-
something to
and
read here.
James.
Let me just read this real quick. Okay, the second sorrowful mystery posted by Dad of all things. They bound you to a post in Pilate's court and scourged you mercilessly. Following each strike, wounds remained. Your blood flowed. You were losing your strength and you were in pain. You offered all of this for us in order to free us from evil and sin. Yet sins are an imaginary concept that doesn't even really exist. He submitted to an S&M scene.
Well, people do feel guilty about their sins.
Well, guilt is different than necessarily sin.
That's another simplistic answer.
Where's the prez when you need them? You know.
Well, we'll have to bring
He's
this up when
praying
he's
for
here.
4 inches of snow
Why not 12?
because they said there was going to be 8. And
So Paul and James, do you agree that there's a kink aspect to Christianity?
I'm neutral.
Agree that kinky
Were you
people-
Switzerland?
he's agnostic.
How about you,
Yeah,
James? Is
okay.
there a kink aspect to Christianity? You know a lot of people in the kink community.
Oh, yeah. He goes to church. That's the kink community.
Maybe your
Think about
church.
it. No. Any so-called Christian church, especially the Catholic ones, they're really into that whole S&M scene.
Yeah.
Transmogrified as a phony religion.
What's your take on
I've got
this,
wings.
James?
James, say something.
Paul McCartney.
I try to, but I keep getting stepped on. So, as I was trying to say, many kinky people take inspiration from Christianity for sure. But this topic reminds me of when my grandmother made me go with her to see Last Temptation of Christ. And my personal review is this movie has no beginning, it's all middle, and they denied us an end. All we wanted at the end of that torture fest was the line, "Why are you looking for the living among the dead?" And they didn't even give us that.
Thank you
That's
for
my
that.
take.
Thank you.
Okay, because I just there's a line in a song that plays on 102.1 that says, "You can't kill what's already dead." So he talks about his soul, you know. That
So, James, do you think that masochistic and sadistic people went to that movie because they've reveled in the torture?
Oh, hell yeah. When they heard other people talk about it, something they weren't initially interested in became a must-see.
well, I thought it was Barbara Hershey was why they went.
Well,
No.
there's that too.
They wanted to see the suffering. They got off on that.
I think that's a little bit. I don't think they got off.
Well, the Christians did. Mel Gibson sure did.
When you say
If it
get off, I
wasn't-
think of an ejaculation, and I really don't think that.
That's too simplistic of a term for for orgasm. That you can have mental orgasm. It doesn't necessarily have to be the release of semen through a penis. It
Well,
can be other
orgasm
things.
and ejaculation are two separate things.
Yeah,
but
they can be simultaneous. They can be different. They can be, yeah.
science doesn't agree. But That your orgasm is in your genitals. That's immutable.
Well, you're pretty much a physicalist. Like
Yeah.
you think everything is based in physical things, and then there's the mental component that you seem to discount.
But that's not where it happens. That it happens in the genitals. That's where the orgasm happens.
I have heard exactly what
it
Vanessa
comes
just
in-
said.
You won't
happens in
find
the
any.
mind.
That you can have an orgasm and you don't actually have to have anything physical happen.
Like, yeah,
to
you can blow your load and feel nothing.
Ecstasy of Saint Teresa. You know that famous sculpture? She's praying to Jesus, and it looks like she's having an orgasm.
Yeah, there's multiple paths to that.
She's faking it.
Not just the heterosexual cisnormative
Let's ask our-
coitus. That is wrongly thought of as the only orgasm. It's not.
Let's
there
ask
are multiple
our-
paths.
Yeah, we have a representative from the kink community here, Mr. Walker. Is there such a thing as a purely mental orgasm?
The
Yeah, it's like a
orgasm
wet
is in the
dream.
mind. Ejaculation is in the glands.
Yeah, they can be mutually exclusive. They can be paired together, but they're not the same thing.
Okay, so we have a basic disagreement there.
Well, the thing is, because of it's biochemical, that after the orgasm, it's like the relaxation. Have a cigarette, or guys fall asleep. That's the thing. It's a resolution and then going down. And at the same time, the penis becomes flaccid, and you gotta wait. However, I got a story about that. There was when I was in college, I volunteered at the hospital in town. I'll tell you the name of it. It was Stonewall Jackson Hospital. So yeah, the same one that was killed by his own men at Chancellorsville. But we would have moonlighters from UVA, and so these were people that weren't ER docs. But I remember one, Dr. Todd Fuchsia, said like the color, but it wasn't spelled like that. But he was a urology resident, and that was when they had injectable. It was early '90s, so he had an injectable, and he injected into his into his penis, into the major vein, and he got this erection that was like a priapism, and he said his wife was limping when they were done. I mean, he just kept screwing and screwing and screwing, and she couldn't walk straight. So that can happen, but normally it's erection, stimulation, ejaculation, resolution, wait,
But if you
start
have-
over.
If you have priapism, typically speaking, you can't have an ejaculation.
No, that's not
just-
true.
yeah.
But because what it is the corpus spongiosum is full of blood, but the corpus cavernosum is not. So you could, although I've only seen one. It was this young black man who had sickle cell in New Jersey, and man, I'm just being honest. This guy had a huge manhood.
Did you like it?
No, they had to put a needle into it and drain the blood.
Blood sausage.
Well, but that's the only one I saw, and it wasn't. He could that one he couldn't have screwed with. He couldn't have had sex with that one because it was weird because it wasn't like standing up like Viagra hard on, but it was just kind of like a lump. It looked like a turd. So that's enough for that. So Richard, adapting to circumstances. Oh, do you have something, James?
Yeah, but before we go, I have to correct something. I got two movies confused. There's Last Temptation of Christ and Passion of the Christ. And Passion of the Christ is what I was trying to talk about, having no beginning, it's all middle, there's no end. That movie should have been rated X because it was really just all an S&M scene from start to finish. And we didn't get the end of the movie, which was, why are you looking for the living amongst the dead? Last Temptation of Christ gets confusing because you don't know while you're watching it that the bulk of the movie is this dreamscape where the devil answers Jesus's question, what happens if you come down off the cross?
Thank you for that.
Alrighty, so Richard, adapting to your circumstances.
Okay. See this cartoon? The reason I clipped this cartoon is because my friend's father is 90 years old, and he hurt his hip.
Did he break it?
I don't know, but he's in the hospital.
Okay.
So no sooner did she go to visit him in the hospital, He knew all the nurses' names. He knew about their families. He was joking with them. He knew all about the doctors. In other words, her father can take any circumstance and make the best of it.
And put a happy face on it.
So this woman is talking on the phone, and she says, yeah, I'm just alone with my demon. Can I read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just alone with my demons. But it turns out they're actually good company. So I started writing to people, and I said, you have demons. Are you friends with yours? And everybody I wrote to said, no way am I friends with my demons. What did you say?
I said there's memes all about that because it's
Wait, is that a yes or no? Are you friends
well,
with
for me individually, no, not really, because I have to be the number one, and I can't, and my demons would be equal to me, and nobody's equal to me in my mind. Like that. I'm the hero of my own story.
So it's rare somebody can make friends with their demons.
Well, but that's the memes that they take classical art and they put them on. They put a title under it, like somebody's sitting there and there's something that looks like Krampus, and they say, "Meeting your demons and realizing you have a lot in common." Then there's a bunch of those classical art memes that are all about that.
Let's ask Vanessa and the other people.
Yeah, have at it.
Are you friends with your demons?
How do you define demon?
The things that...
Oh, man, I was thinking the same thing.
The Prez!
The Prez is here. You just missed. Oh,
we can hear you, Prez.
You missed the great debate about the S&M.
We had a topic in your honor.
Cool.
But that train left the station.
What's the topic?
That Christianity is based on a sadomasochistic heavy kink scene between the father, who is the daddy, and his subordinate, who is the son, and it very much mirrors a heavy bondage S&M type of relationship.
Is that Robert Mapplethorpe Pete?
Robert Mapplethorpe.
I tried to wrap my mind around that.
Well,
I think that once you get through it all, you find peace, and that's much better than having S&M.
but the S&M is the path to the peace.
Well, there was a lot of Middle Ages art that shows Jesus with a big freaking heart on.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Did you know about that, Sal?
No, but I've considered ideas of whether he masturbated or not, or whether he. I think. I don't think he did. So.
He's a thumbnail.
He's tiny.
What?
Yeah, I said a thumbnail.
Yeah.
What's a thumbnail?
Your picture was about the size of a postage stamp on the screen.
Yeah, where are you? Why can't we see you in real time?
We want to see
You're on my phone right now. This is my first time joining on the phone. I went to arcade for a Wild West train ride.
I thought maybe you were in the...
took a bus there, and that's why I didn't call earlier, because it was too loud on the bus to be able to hear you.
Ah, well, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. I wanted to be here.
And also, you're living within the limits of your technology.
I wish you
Flip
were
phone.
here.
Who's that from?
Pink Floyd.
I was planning on being there. I plan on being there next week, so
Okay.
I want to continue our discussion outside of what we talked about.
Free beer tomorrow.
Sal, you are you are the no exit theologian.
Yes. So
What's that make me?
I'm not really a theologian, because my counselor's a theologian. He looks at things from more of a historical or theological perspective, where I look at it from the perspective of what's the worst about what does that lead to.
You know, I wrote to Sal and I said, we're doing studio renovations and we're tearing down this wall here. And I told him about it. And he wrote back, the wall between man and God was torn down by Jesus.
Which is kind of arbitrary.
It's the Trump wall.
Oh, and that's what somebody wrote.
Now we're getting enchiladas.
I'd have to find it. Just the end line was like saying Trump is a theologian. You know, I love the Bible. I love Bible.
He likes to sell them. Give them profit.
So, Richard.
Yeah.
Adapting to your circumstances.
That was that cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Okay, so now we have Paul's Avoids to a Distant Planet. I'm going to take this one because that's a non-starter. Because,
Wait, tell the
Hey,
people.
hey,
Oh.
yeah, we need the picture.
okay,
don't
so,
we?
yeah,
There we
what,
go.
Paul, read
Picture.
the experiment. The thought experiment.
yeah, read the thought. Okay, you got it, Paul?
Yeah, I got it.
No, say it for the crowd.
Yeah.
Tell them
Oh,
what we're talking about.
Is it real or is it Memorex?
That ain't a
Oh, and what we're
Fitzgerald.
talking about.
Your question about if there was a multi-generational trip to another planet,
Oh,
would there be trans people
right.
on board?
Probably inevitable. The statistics.
No, and I would say
maybe one.
no. No, I would say none.
No,
I would
because
say,
They want people who can reproduce, right?
listen.
yeah,
So it doesn't necessarily be a planet, but I'm just saying, say the Earth was headed toward
No, about
catastrophic doom.
generations. That's how many generations there are, how large the population is.
Are we all going to Mars with Elon Musk?
no, we will.
No,
You
no,
said the
no,
number
no.
of generations. You didn't say one generation. You said multiple generations. We don't know how big it can get.
Sal, don't get lost in the weeds.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sal might have a
I
point.
always get lost in weeds. I think about things. I overanalyze things, but it usually leads to things that are closer to what it is.
Well,
No,
can I finish the statement?
Yes.
You can try.
Sure.
All right. So what it was is if the world was headed toward catastrophic doom, and they had to abandon the planet and go to another planet or some other facility where they could survive this, and the scientists and the top scientists and top doctors, do you think they would include transsexuals or any of that type of humans along the trip versus male and female, which would make more sense
So you
and
mean
logically
so
would make
you
more
mean
sense.
intersex people? Is that what you're talking about? Because there's either male or female.
I'm talking about
or
I'm talking
intersex.
male
If
or
they're not
female.
male or female, then they're intersex.
Well, there isn't a female,
Sometimes
there's only
intersex
male or
people are
female.
fertile
Okay.
and sometimes they aren't.
Stop talking over each other. Okay. Now, so that's an interesting question because I'd said this earlier in the week to Richard. If you look at, there was somebody who did an observational study of NASA astronauts, said about a quarter of them fit the criteria for being autistic. So they're all very smart and they're all very healthy. And what you wouldn't have in the first generation is anybody like me or like Vanessa, because if you have to take any medicine, whether it's for your heart, your blood pressure, your thyroid, for your diabetes, for hormones, you can't do that. You're not the healthiest person, and you have to be fertile.
Right.
Yeah,
there's
they
no
want-
reason to send somebody who's gay or who's
Absolutely.
transsexual on the trip
Right.
because they can't have the kids, and you need to be fertile.
right.
Okay.
Right.
We also take into
Exactly.
account the political
Well,
climate
I know a number
of the
of people that have had kids, so
the
I don't
political climate
necessarily-
at the time, whether it's going to be friendly to that or not, that's going to have an influence too over who they pick and let go. But it's probably going to be the young fertile breeders. That's
And-
what they're going to want.
And and they're
Right,
going to send them
exactly.
just like in the one Alien movie. They're also going to send embryos because
right.
you need people on the the first generation you can control, but the next
Right.
generation you don't know if you get somebody who's gay or somebody who's trans. It could happen. It's highly unlikely,
That's good
but it could
compromise.
happen.
Yeah.
And then you got to deal with it. Just like you would need to. You have two thoughts about when people get old on the ship. Do you recycle them into food? Or when they break a bone, do you have orthopedics fix them? But that's the thing. And you can even go total Handmaid's Tale. Then after the women have the change of life, they just go in the chipper.
Right.
There you go.
I mean, it's cruel, but science is cruel.
It probably depends on what kind of regime this happens under.
No,
too.
Vanessa's
authority,
right.
who's in-
Is there going to be
who's
a
in charge?
democracy on the ship?
Right.
Well,
what is it? A fascism? Is it like some sort of liberal?
No, there's really not a lot of anything because you know what happened? They had a plan on the space shuttle. If you went crazy, you know what they did?
They shot you like a wounded horse.
No, not at all. No. They first they had Haldol and then they had Ziprasidone. Geodon gave you a shot of Geodon, or they would give you a shot of Geodon. They have these reinforced plastic bags. They just zip up at the neck and they just bag you. And you just sit there. And I guess they could put the pillowcase over your head if you're spitting. But
They can eject you out into outer space and then
no,
be done with it.
I'm talking about a real plan. This is like in the handbook. This was.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is the real deal. They had a plan for somebody going nuts, and that's why they are so boring. And it was back in '73 or '74 when Skylab people went on strike, and because they were getting overworked, there wasn't any plan. And that was the last time there was nobody that had been in space before. Then, starting with John Young and Bob Crippen in '81, every mission has at least one person who's been in space before. And John Young went to the moon. Was he on 15 or 16? But that's why they have experienced people. And now they get about 1 day a week off up in the International Space Station. But these are people that love to work. They love to work.
Oh, sure.
They love to work. And so that's why these are scientists that love to science, and they could give a shit about politics up there. And,
Right.
and so that's why there's no room for people to be crazy. If you're demonstrative, if you have a personality disorder, if you are just loudmouthed, they don't want you. And so that's why trying to keep a tenor.
Yeah, but the jury was out is very based on the
What?
Yeah, it's a little hard to understand you. I thought it was just me.
No, it's
No, that's you.
I can't understand anything it's saying.
Yeah. We need you to be closed caption.
Yeah.
Like when I'm watching a movie from Scotland. I'm lost without the closed captions.
Absolutely.
the lyrics on
In fact, sometimes
What
they'll say
language
something
that is,
and then I'll read it and I'll go, they actually said that?
That was on a show from Ireland that I saw on PBS. The policeman, they had to have somebody interpret the policeman. So the woman's saying, "Oh, he said this and that," and then. Okay, so I think we've killed that one. That's almost a red mist. So
a red mist. Is that like
What's
a
a red
Faygo?
mist? What is that?
Faygo
after you're beaten
soda.
you're beaten. If you beat the animal
Beating a dead
to death,
horse.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll eventually just be a red mist of like blood and guts in the air because that's really beaten the submission. Okay, what did Charlie?
Oh, like Jesus? Under
No.
the Sky Daddy?
No, stop. That's
beaten into submission.
That
by
is-
Pilate.
okay, literalist. What did Charlie Kirk stand for? He lost me a great replacement. That's all I could say.
Here we go. Let's look at the Charlie Kirk quote. Let's make one thing clear from the start. Charlie Kirk was the
That's
victim
a sad situation.
of a shooting
That's
in
all I
a
can
country
say.
where he, along with other right-wing extremist influencers, have been inciting violence for years. Kirk is neither a martyr nor a hero. He is a cause.
Yeah, I got something to say about that when you're done.
Yeah, that great replacement theory is bullshit, and that's just white fear. And
Yeah.
since I'm not Jewish, I'd be in their demographic because I'm a white male, non-Jewish, straight, and but that's the thing. I'm not into that, and they think that all the immigrants, legal or not, are displacing the white people. So it's strictly like South Africa, 50 or 60 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I'm done.
So think about this. There's people who say Kirk had every right to express his views.
Yep.
But now let's look at what he stood for. He founded a group on campuses so that you would go to certain liberal professors and you would prevent them from speaking.
And he's
Okay.
supposedly a free speech absolutist who is supposedly encouraging free speech and discourse among all people.
Let
but
Richard talk.
obviously he's not. I will. But
How did he stop
I'd
him
add
from
that.
speaking?
Go ahead, Paul.
I think
How did he stop
one of
him
those
from speaking?
considerations based on what I heard though is that liberal professors have great influence over their students who are young and not as set in their ways. They can manipulate their views. So I think it's true of everybody. So what's wrong with both sides doing it on one side?
can I read some of Charlie Kirk's greatest hits? I got a couple here. I got this whole list of
Sure.
past greatest hits of Charlie Kirk. Okay. Charlie Kirk said, check this out. Listen. Charlie Kirk said he'd force his 10-year-old daughter, who is currently 3 years old, to give forced birth if she was raped and got pregnant. He said abortion is worse than the Holocaust. He supported public televised executions and said it was a sacred experience. He thought empathy was fake and it hurt people. He was pro-violence against minorities, gay and trans, and believed they should be victims of violence. He wanted segregation to come back. He thought slavery was a good thing. And he also said, here we go, empathy was made up. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term, and it does a lot of damage. And now all of his followers are getting his message wrong. He told us to not have empathy. He told us to be free speech absolutists. So when these people are trying to get people fired, which is the hot new trend right now, like this, there's a ton of these. I get like 50 of these every half hour. Okay, this guy got fired because he said something about Charlie Kirk, but his followers wanting these people to be fired fight the very essence of his supposed free speech absolutism, because if Charlie Kirk was really a free speech absolutist, he would be defending speech on both sides, even ones that are against him, because he didn't believe in the concept of hate speech. So therefore, these people who claim to be his followers, using the concept of hate speech from the left, are proving themselves no better than those they are combating in that regard, and that they themselves are not free speech absolutists. Therefore, they do not understand what his supposed message was. Therefore, it's all backwards and wrong.
But to the low education people that follow, because that's what it is, because people follow because they don't have what it takes to lead, it's unfortunate, but not everybody is brilliant or charismatic. And that they follow and they don't have the self-awareness that that's happening. They don't see it. It's like that's why the first villain, the Eric Killmonger in Black Panther, you, instead of being a one-note villain, you show them having the reasons they have. And many of your villains, when you look at it from the other side, they didn't intend to villainize, or whatever their rationale was, it can make sense, you know? But when your rhetoric is about killing people, I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Paul, are you taking all this in? I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on this.
What is a woman?
Yeah,
a woman is not a man.
Why
Simple.
doesn't the allow the cashless ballot 3% burden?
Okay, Kirk stirred up a lot of the current transgender genocide, which is worldwide. J.K. Rowling's helping, and I got some examples of this bullshit. Here's a comic strip from when they had the school shooting recently, right before Kirk got shot. Okay, now look at that insulting drawing. I don't know trans women who look like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's the guns. Oh, they're blaming the trans people.
The trans people. Okay, now I got some other good ones here. Let me go through a couple of these.
Well, it's not the guns.
There's another.
Are you talking about the? Are you talking
So
about
this is an actual
trans?
transgender woman. One of the 10 most beautiful transgender women in the world. This is what trans women really look like. This is a woman. That they try to say is a trans woman. And that.
Is that you in the middle?
No, that's you.
Where's
No, I'm serious.
Where's
It looked like
Look
you
at
with
this.
where's the trans woman?
Now here's a trans woman. An actual
No,
trans woman.
that's not a woman though.
That's a trans woman.
Well, Paul, you
That's
raised
a
It's not a woman.
You raise an interesting
the
point.
trans is an adjective
not a
to
woman.
describe a woman. Cis is an adjective to describe a woman. That's a real.
Yeah.
That's a transgender woman. Don't tell me that's a man. There's nothing manly about that.
Why pretend and lie to
That's not lying.
society that? Sure, it is. You're living a lie.
No, you're wrong. They say, okay,
I'm not
they
wrong.
say
I'm not
that
wrong.
Taylor Swift and Lalisa Manoband of Blackpink right here, because they're leftists, they're being accused on the right of being transgender because Taylor Swift is 5'11", she's beautiful, she's a leftist, and people were attacking Lisa Manoband because she's from Thailand, saying, oh, she's a lady boy. Now, are these not women either? They also are saying that Marilyn
If
Monroe
they're
is
not a-
trans.
No, she's
Okay,
permanently
here's-
wasn't.
Here's
they don't-
Elon Musk's
they
trans
don't-
daughter.
If they don't have female genitalia, then they're not a woman.
Ah,
Oh, so when they
What
get
about XX chromosomes?
identity is in the body, according to Paul.
Well,
That's what it is according
No,
to the
you can
Bible.
have. You
Wait.
can identify. Listen, I identify as a toaster. Can I do that?
you're a dumb fuck. That's what you identify as.
Right, well, okay, that's
Fuck
fine.
you, bigot.
but I'm not a bigot.
Yes, you are.
I'm a realist. I'm a realist.
You identify as a toaster. Are you a fucking attack helicopter too? Because I'm a fucking bazooka that's gonna shoot you out of the sky, motherfucker.
Okay, that's cool. That's
yeah,
that's what you believe. You know,
Cool.
whatever works for you.
But
you know,
you're belied by science there, Paul.
Oh, they say that Sabrina Carpenter is trans now too because of this. So, she's one of my fucking heroes. She's trying to topple the patriarchy, as should be done. You're
Well-
a patriarch.
To be totally crude, the chicks with dicks phenomenon, there's a market for it.
Oh, yeah, there is.
But most
Yeah,
of your
for the other
trans
chicks
people,
with dicks. Yeah.
but most of your people that are trans want to transition and get the lower surgery,
Yeah.
and look like a woman. I mean,
Yeah, so
your
why? So
your
pretend to
perspective
be.
is very
So it's
narrow and
just-
very
so
simplistic.
It's
not
the
a
wolf
man.
in sheep's clothing. It's not. Sure, it is.
no, it isn't.
How's that a wolf? Do you really think somebody's
That's
gonna?
a wolf, you dummy. Explain yourself. You're part of the MAGA cult. You need to be deprogrammed. Well, we need to
Yeah,
make
well,
mental asylums great again and deprogram the MAGA cultists.
I think you should stop lying to yourself.
No,
and be
you're
who you
lying to
are,
yourself.
not-
I'm fucking intersex. I was born with ovaries, motherfucker, so shut up.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh,
you
yeah,
were.
I was.
Uh-huh.
I have the fucking medical
okay.
proof.
Yeah, okay,
Mr.
let's see
Walker,
it.
you've been very
I would
quiet
love
here.
To see that. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, you would
I
love to see-
wouldn't.
Mr. Walker,
I don't know.
can you, Mr.
What?
Walker, can you add some sanity to this conversation?
No.
Smart.
How about you, Prez? Can you tell us something from a theological point of view about what makes a woman and what makes a man?
Well, there are androgynous people.
That's right.
So I understand that even in nature, that sometimes it's not just one or the other.
That's true. There are intersex variants such as XYY, XXYY, XXY, and your single X. And it can manifest in different forms. You have people that think that they are cisgender women who are sterile, and they have the vagina, they have everything, but they have XY chromosomes. There's different things such as Klinefelter's syndrome and Turner's syndrome.
Turner's
And
is XO.
Yeah, right.
Klinefelter's is XXY.
Right, and there's also chimerism, which is what I am, a male and female twin, one of which absorbed the other and merge into one. And depending on where you get a DNA sample, you might get XX, you might get XY. In my case, it's mostly XY. I had ovaries, and they were removed at birth to fit the binary agenda. I think they should leave intersex people alone and let us make our own choices later when we grow up instead of butchering us at birth like the Cannibal Corpse album.
I think
If you
there
believe
needs
the
to
lie,
be
it
That's
must
not a
be true
fucking
that-
lie. I have the medical records.
It's a lie.
And my
Yeah, it
mother,
is.
you dumb fuck, don't ever question my reality. I have proof of this, you
I am.
son of a bitch.
I want to see the proof. Prove it.
I believe you, Vanessa. The thing is I think
Vanessa, that's not Vanessa.
I
There needs
That's
to be a
Charlie.
You
way
dumb
for people
fuck.
to
Oh, you
coexist.
son of a bitch. I have fucking
There needs to be a
scars
way-
right here from where the ovaries were removed.
I know you as
I
Charlie.
went to
I don't know
doctors
you
in
as
Hawaii.
Vanessa.
I've had this verified. I have medical verification.
Well, let's
So-
see it. Show it.
I don't
Prove
have it with me.
Oh, well.
I don't carry
Well, next
my
time-
medical
when you-
papers with me. And
when-
besides,
well,
it's
when
none
you-
of
when
your
you-
fucking
when-
business. Shut up.
It
is
is my
what it
business
is.
because you're claiming that you're something you're not.
No, I am. I'm fucking intersex.
Let me ask.
whatever.
Let me ask
No
Sal a
such thing.
question. Sal,
Don't question my reality. I know what my
actually
reality is.
just
I know what I grew up
triggered
as. I know what the medical conditions were. And my mother had verified this.
let me ask Sal a question. Sal, does God love all people, including trans people? Is that a yes?
I guess it depends on what God wants him to live in all of us. So, but some people refuse to accept it. But on the other hand, I understand that Moses had to write certificates of divorce because their hearts were hurt, and it's a necessity for people to be able to live together when they can't accept certain things. So I believe it's necessary to have the ability to have the different points of view and get along. I don't think anyone should ever kill another person. I don't think Charlie Kirk should have been killed, but I don't think he should have supported killing others for their points of view.
Plus, also the do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. So if transgender people want to transition and be who they feel they are, they should be able to do so. You should be able to customize your body at will like you do your car or your house or anything else if it's yours.
Well, But the only caveat is, I think.
Yeah, you can
people
customize
realize-
your car, but you can't say, "Hey, this is a."
Oh, Jesus, shut up with the
57
fucking
cent-
MAGA tropes. They're fucking stale. Get
hey.
some new content. Do you even have a brain? You got a fucking brain of your own up there? Use it.
But I said.
I have a brain.
No, you don't.
I said to Richard a while ago, and he had to agree. The big dark secret of gay people is they're just as boring as straight people. They're just people that want to do their job and
That's
go home
true.
and love somebody at home. You know, and likewise, trans people fall out of the paradigm when they transition because they just want to be who they are.
Yeah, we just want to be left alone in peace. Yeah.
That's
Well, actually,
all.
I'm
And for somebody,
intersex, but-
for somebody who is an old white male, whether they're in Congress or they're at home, it's none of their damn business if somebody is doing this and just trying to be comfortable and be themselves.
Yeah, personal liberty.
I have no problem with
Well,
that. They can do whatever
they
they want.
don't
I could
allow
care
people
less.
to drink until
It's
they're
obviously
21.
not because you have such
They don't
a...
allow people to drink
It
until they're
doesn't bother me
21.
that
That does
someone
bother
wants
you.
to
Don't
do
lie.
whatever they want.
I personally,
It doesn't bother me.
It does bother you. That's why you say what you say.
It does.
You're a
no, it's
snowflake.
because
You're a
I-
MAGA snowflake in need of deprogramming.
That's a little bit
Okay.
extreme.
Well,
You're both
you
extreme
need-
on
you
either
need
way.
some-
Oh, yeah.
you need-
Well, I'm extreme
you need
left.
some
I'm a left
psychiatric
libertarian.
help. I think you need some, psychiatric help.
I have
or
it.
some
And
sort of-
I have psychiatric help.
not-
I have a
it's not
fucking
working.
counselor, and that's how...
Oh, you know what you
It's
need?
not working though.
You need some colloidal silver.
Oh, yeah, we need colloidal silver. That'll cure everything.
That'll cure
yeah.
everything.
Oh, yeah.
Don't need antibiotics. Colloidal
Yeah.
silver.
Let's call RFK in here. Mr. Brainworm. He'll fucking verify that shit, too. Talking about believing in a delusion.
Yeah, there's some.
Gotcha.
Paul, can I ask you a
Well,
question?
Yeah, gotcha.
Go ahead.
Let's take a typical person who is having depression, anxiety, and is on the verge of suicide. And the person in question decides to become transgender. And then suddenly they feel this release and they feel a newborn sense of purpose and meaning in their life. Is that a bad thing?
Okay. No, it's not.
Well, we're not that far apart then.
Well, it's not a bad
But
thing.
I have the only thing that I wanted.
Can I finish what I'm saying? No,
Sure.
I guess not. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go on, Prez.
I get it. I tried to answer a
Well,
question, but I keep
wanted
getting
to say this
interrupted. So
earlier,
it's
and I dropped it because you guys wanted to get into the conversation. But all I wanted to say was, I talked with some amount ago, and we both agree that people shouldn't be allowed to change their bodies until they're 21. Because you can't drink until you're 21. There's no way that you can say that you have enough life experience.
Oh, that's not true, though. Some people know as young as 4 or even before.
Okay.
Some people know this their whole life, and it's what
now-
they...
Now,
They
Paul,
know.
Paul, what did you want to say? What questions you want to answer?
doesn't matter. Slipped my mind already.
Well, I was asking you, Paul, if it's a good thing that somebody becomes a trans person and then has more meaning and fulfillment in their life, and you said that's fine.
Yeah, if that helps them. But in retrospect to that, if they do that and then regret doing it, and they're having issues from doing that, depression and
the rate
suicidal
is so
thoughts,
low. The
So we would have to know the statistics.
I
It's
mean,
not so
like
low.
the
Yeah,
trans
and-
people are less than 1% of the population, and then the detransitioners are even a lower percentage of that. That's almost non-existent.
Because back in the 80s, there was only 3 places in the U.S. you could get a sex reassignment surgery: at Johnny Hopkins in Baltimore, up at the University of Minnesota, and I forgot where the third one was. But it wasn't.
Pennsylvania with Marcy Bowers.
I don't know.
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was one.
No, it wasn't. Not in the
Not yet?
beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why it was really a thing, and everybody had that. Gender dysphoria is real. If you feel you're in the wrong body, that's horror. That's pain.
It is horror, but imagine being intersex and having parts removed
But
and
isn't
then
that
being
a
told,
psychological?
oh,
Yeah,
Isn't
it
that a
is, but at the
psychological
same
thing?
time, it's not something that you can cure out of somebody. Electroshock is not going to make them.
I'm not saying it is, but if people that take like hormones and things to help correct this stuff, and if and isn't it true that the hormones can have really bad side effects?
Well, yeah, that's like that.
depression and
Do you know what's a hormone that can have really bad side effects in you? Cholesterol.
and
So
testosterone.
that was a hormone.
It is, yeah. The cholesterol is a precursor hormone to all sorts of things.
Can I address something real quick?
Quickly.
Yeah. All right. Imagine you're born. You have components of both. You have parts of both. At birth, they decide they're going to rip out some parts and butcher you, gaslight you your whole life and say, no, you're the thing that the parts that are remaining, but you know there were other parts. You know there was something wrong. You spend your whole life trying to figure it out. You go to doctors and you get the answer. You get verification from your mother. You get verification from mental records. They've been gaslighting your whole life. Be this thing that you really aren't. Where is the third option for the intersex people? There's no third gender. There's no third expression.
They do in the Pacific. And
yeah, they do.
I just want to tell... Let me...
Okay.
I want to tell everybody, I'm great, just like everybody who's watching is great. We're all our own heroes. I don't think I'm better than anybody at home. In my mind, I think I'm great.
Well, I'm not my own hero. I'm not.
We're off.
We're off.